Hello everyone, welcome to another 3 Looks 1 palette video using the Oden's Eye Hella palette in collaboration with Angelica Nyqvist. Very exciting. We all know how much of a smash hit Club Nebula was, and I was such a huge fan of the original Legendary Diversa collection from Oden's Eye. So I was so excited to see another palette in that series, I guess, come out from them. And I mean, especially considering it was in collaboration with Angelica, she has a knack for creating color stories, that's for sure. This is the palette right here, green and pink. I tried to span, as I usually do with my 3 Looks 1 palette videos, the range. So I tried to do something more neutral. It came out really grungy and beautiful. I loved that look. I did a more brighter green look, and then this look that's pink and smoky and using the multi-chrome all over the lid. It's so fun. So fun and super nice. And I will give you my thoughts on this palette at the end of the video. So either watch the whole thing, which I would encourage, or skip to the end, I guess. And without further ado, let's just get into the 3 looks. Okay, hello. Welcome to the first look in this 3 Looks 1 palette using the Oden's Eye Hella palette in collaboration with Angelica Nyqvist. Very exciting. I feel like there are so many different directions you can go with this palette. So I'm just trying to think of the looks that I'm going to end up doing. But anyway, I think I'm going to do something as neutral as I can with this palette today, just to try to get the range, that this could possibly provide. So I'm going to start with the shade Wolf. This is this mustardy shade here. Of course, I have to use this at some point. I have primed my eyes using the NARS Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base, and I've not set my lids. It will be the same for all 3 looks. I do have a little bit of blush on my eyelids, so I'm just going to blend that into my shadow. But I'm just going to take this shade and just use this as my first blending shade all through my lids, or all through my crease rather. I do wish, I'll talk about this more at the end, I'm sure, but I do wish that there were more mid-tone shades. I feel like there's actually a surprising amount of light shades in this palette, but anyway. Look at that beautiful. I'll never get tired of a mustard. Never. Now I'm going to take the shade Decay, which is this beautiful, almost green toned brown. And I'm going to put this through my outer corner of my crease. In one way, I feel like this could work maybe as a deepening shade, but probably not for me and my preferences. And now I'm going to take the shade Soot and use this to deepen up and see how this looks with the green tones. I think it's just gonna, these tones are already pretty like muddy, grungy, so I think if anything it's just gonna add to that, you know. Okay, so now for my lid, I'm going to take the shade Golden Bridge, which is like a green. It is a green with like a bronziness to it. It's like an olivey green, so I feel like it could go more neutral depending on how you use it. But first, I'm going to put some NYX glitter primer all over my lid. Now take Golden Bridge and put this all over my lid, which honestly looks pretty green. Okay, so that's all over my lid. Now I'm going to take the shade Decay again, and I'm going to merge this onto my lid where I put Golden Bridge. And then I'm going to take Decay and lightly run this over the front of my crease. And then I'm going to take Soot and use this to deepen my outer corner. And then run this through the front part of my crease and also use this to blend out Golden Bridge. I'm gonna have to go back in with the shimmer, I think, because I just took with a little bit too far down this matte. It's okay. Yeah, the shimmer almost seems a little bit like sheer, not in a bad way. And then I'm gonna take Wolf again on just like a smaller fluffy brush and just run this back over the edges just to blend, bring that mustard back. I do really like this like mustardy, grungy purple crease with like this pop of green on the lid. I think it's quite nice. Maybe less neutral than I initially was going for, but I really do enjoy it. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back in at the end, I think, and just, my shape is not what I want it to be, but that's my own fault. And then I'm gonna go into Golden Bridge on my finger and intensify this on my lid and just make sure that it's nice and blended where I want it to be. For my lower lash line, I'm gonna keep it the same like tones and stuff. I'm gonna take Decay and run this all underneath my eyes. And then I'm gonna take Soot and deepen my lower lash line with this. And then now I'm going to take the shade Wolf and blend this out. For my inner corners of my brow bone, I'm going to take the shade Double Sided, which is this multi-chrome. And then finally, I'm going to take this shade called Complete, which is this metallic black. I'm going to use this to deepen my outer corners. Okay, so this is where I'm gonna leave it. I'm going to hop off camera, do my lips and my lashes and stuff, and then be back to conclude. All right, and this is the finished look many hours later. Oh no, my concealer. I've had lunch. It's been a minute, but this is the finished look. Hold on a second. On my lips, I have the Colourpop Ultra Matte Lip in the shade Chi. Oh, this is actually the wrong one that I was gonna use. Anyway, I have the shade Chi on, and yeah, this is a different direction than I was initially planning on going, but I'm happy with it. I actually love how the green and the purple and like this metallic green in my lid paired. It's super grungy and muddy, but in a way that looks intentional, and it's inevitably going to get a little bit muddy because I'm mixing like a purpley toned matte with a green toned matte. But I really love it. I think it looks super grungy and nice. This green shade all over my lid, the shade Golden Bridge, I believe, has like sparse like pieces of glitter in it, or like sparkle, not really glitter, but it just makes it look so beautiful in low light. And the inner corner shade that I have on double-sided, I'm wearing the Kaleidos Space Age Prophecy highlighter today, and at least on my inner corners, it looks so similar to this highlighter. It's crazy. And with that, let's get into the second look. Okay, hello, welcome back to this video. Second look using the Oden's Eye Hella palette in collaboration with Angelica Nyqvist. Going to do the green halo eye. I was like, Laura, do something else. Don't do a green halo eye, do something else. And today I'm going to do a green halo eye. So I'm going to start with the shade Ouroboros. I'm going to stamp this in the outer and inner parts of my eyes and then connect it through my crease. To take the shade Moss and use this to blend the edges of this out, and I'm gonna go over like the edges of, like layer this over the edges of the shade Ouroboros. I went a little bit high with it, but welcome to my channel. I do wish that it was a little bit deeper though, like it's not quite the depth that I want it to be, but that's fine. And then I'm going to take the shade of Rebirth, which is this yellow. And I'm going to take this on the very edges and blend it out. Okay, so now I'm going to just quickly cut my crease in the center of my lid and be back. Okay, so I've cut my crease. Now I'm just going to further just like deepen my inner and outer corners with the shade Ouroboros. And then take that on a tiny little brush and just press this on the edge. Then taking moss and blending this just onto the edge of my, and then also run this over the edge, the center. Okay, so in blah, blah. On my lid, I'm going to take the shade Venom, and I'm going to take the shade Fluorescence. But first, I'm going to take some NYX glitter primer and put this all over my lid. And then I'm first going to take Fluorescence and just stamp that right down the center. And then take Venom and put this on the edges. And then just go back and forth and blend the two shades together. And then do the same thing on my other eye. Okay, and then I'm going to take just the teeny tiny little bit of moss and blend. Just make sure that these shimmers and stuff are all blended. Okay, and then I'm going to take Venom and Fluorescence on my fingers. Look at those greens. And intensify them on my lid. And then finally I'm going to take Rebirth one more time and very lightly blend the edges out one more time. And then for my lower lash line, I'm going to take Moss and just put this all underneath my eye. And then I'm going to take the shade Ouroboros, and deepen my lower lash line. And then I'm going to take Rebirth and blend everything out. And then I'm going to take a little tiny bit of glitter primer and put this in on the center of my lower lash line. And then I'm going to take Venom and place this on top. Love that lime shade, it's so pretty. And then let's see. Now I'm going to take the shade Complete, which is this metallic black, and I'm going to use this like I have been as like a replacement for a matte black. So I'm just going to use this to deepen my inner and outer corners on my top and bottom lid. Okay, and then I'm going to take Fluorescence, which was the latest green that I used, and put this on in my inner corner. Okay, so this is where I'm gonna leave it. I'm going to finish up my face and then be back to conclude. Okay, so this is the finished second look. On my lips, I have the NYX lip liner in Espresso and the Rimmel Stay Matte Liquid Lip Color in the shade Raw Embrace. And apparently I have 1 minute left on my memory card left of footage, so I'm not going to ramble on too much. I really like this look. I just do wish that the shade Ouroboros was deeper. Like, just make it a tone and a half deeper and I would love it. I do like this, but you guys know that I just want all the depth that I can possibly get. So this is all I have to say. Let's get into the third and final look. Okay, hello and welcome to the third look using the Oden's Eye Hella palette in collaboration with Angelica and Nyqvist. Today I'm going to be using some of the pinks again. So I'm going to take the shade Hella first, which is this light pink. I used the pinks in my first impressions. And I'm just going to run this through my crease as a transition shade. And now I'm going to take the shade Goddess. And I'm going to just take this through my crease. I'm not going to put it in my outer corner at all. Now I'm going to take the shade Soot and just use this to deepen my crease. Again, not taking it through my outer corner. Okay, so now I'm going to take the shade Complete, which is the sparkly black, and I want to layer the shade double-sided over it. So I'm going to take Complete, but I'm not going to take glitter glue like I normally do. I'm going to just take this in my brush and spray it just to eliminate fallout. And then just put this all over my lid. Then I'm just going to take the brush that I used Soot on and just blend the edges of this out. It's actually a really beautiful sparkly black. I'm not taking any additional product though, I'm just lightly blending the edges. I might take a touch more of Goddess and just lightly run this over the edge, just making sure that most of the blending is done now through my crease. I'll take a touch more Soot and lightly just blend this out. So you could even leave it like this and it would be a really beautiful smoky eye. I'm going to take Complete on my finger and just intensify this on my lid just to make the base a little bit more opaque. And then now I'm going to take some NYX glitter primer and just take a little bit of this and just dot this all over my lid, like pat it. Mostly, yeah, pretty much over where I put the black. So unfortunately, this is just acting as like mostly a black base. So all the sparkle's gone and it's now transferred to my finger, but that's, you know, the name of the game. And then I'm going to take a double-sided and pat this over the top. So you can see the orange definitely really come through. And again, well, on my finger you can see the green. I think it's just going to be a matter of getting into different lighting, but you can see the green kind of on the side of my eye. Okay, I'm just going to do the same thing on my other eye. And I'm just going to take the brush that I used Goddess on and just blend this out just so that there aren't really any incredibly harsh edges. And then I'm going to take the shade Hella, which was the lightest pink, and then blend the edges of this out. And I'm actually shocked I don't have a ton of black fallout all over my face. So I count that as a victory. For my lower lash line, I'm going to take Goddess. I'm going to keep it just all nice and pink. Just going to blend this out. I'm going to keep this shape more rounded. I'm not going to like super wing it out. And then I'm going to take Soot and deepen my lower lash line. And then I'm going to take Hella and blend this out. And then I'm going to take Complete and spray this and put this under my lash line as well. We'll see how this goes. Oh no, it's working. And then finally, as much as I want to take double-sided and put it in my inner corner, I'm going to take the shade Hellfire, which is this peachy shade, or do I want to do that? Yeah, I'm going to because I haven't used it yet. I can see how this, like with swatching and stuff, could get hard pan. I've had some people ask me about that and I haven't found that yet, but I could see for sure just with the texture of the shade. And this is actually quite light, like it works actually for my inner corners. So it has like a pretty strong, like lighter reflect. So it works for that. And then I'm gonna take double-sided and put that on my brow bone. Just a little bit. I don't even think this really, sticks that well, but whatever, I'll do it. Okay, and this is where I'm going to leave this look. So I will finish up my face, come back and conclude this look and this video. Okay, and this is the finished look. On my lips, I have Endless Cacao for Makeup Forever and the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb in Diamond Milk. So, and when I go into the, like a different lighting source, the green in this shadow on my lid is so strong. It's like electric green and red. Well, it's not really red. It's like peachy, burgundy. It's, you know, like red-ish, but not like, it doesn't look like necessarily like Christmas. You know what I mean? And I think there is some blue in there as well. Then it also mixes with the shimmers from the shade Complete. So it's just beautiful. This with the greens in this palette would look amazing as well. I just wanted to utilize the pinks today. So my thoughts on this palette, I've used every shade except for the shade Underworld, which is this yellowy green shade here. Otherwise, I've used all of the shades in some way. And I really do like the formula of all of these shades. The mattes are really easy to blend. They're really nice to work with. They're similar to the formula of the other Legendary Diversa palettes in my experience. The green metallics at the top of the palette are all pretty similar in formula, I feel. It's not that they don't have a pigmented base, like there's definitely pigment to it, but it's not like super, super intensely opaque, like the shade Complete, for example. And the shimmers in here are like more piecey shimmers, so that it looks just wet when you go into the light or like under a dimmer light source. It's so, so beautiful, but not like the same way that Kaleidos shimmers are, for example, that are super shimmery. And Iridescent, these shimmers almost have like a more piecey shimmer look. That's like the best way I can describe it, like larger flecks of shimmer throughout the shadow. It's really, really beautiful though. The shade Hellfire I haven't used extensively. I've just used it on my inner corners today, but I can see how this shade could get hard pan if you swatched a lot. It has like the formula that I think could potentially develop hard pan, although if you scrape it, like scratch at it a little bit or scrape off the top layer, I'm sure it would be fine. Mine doesn't necessarily have hard pan now, but I could easily see how that would be the case. The shade Double Sided is absolutely beautiful. If you got this palette, I would strongly encourage you to use it over a black base. It doesn't have to be the shade Complete, just a black base or a darker shadow, because it just brings out the shift so, so much stronger. It's so pretty. The shade River is absolutely stunning. It's so beautiful and sparkly, and again has like almost a different formula to the other shimmers, where it's a little bit it's just like more sparkly and piecey and beautiful. The mattes rather all have a very similar formula. I don't really feel like anything was super, super different across the board. I do wish that this Ouroboros shade was like a tone and a half deeper. Then it would be perfection. But for me, I would use a deeper green with this shade to deepen it up. That's just my preference. I love the depth of the shade Soot. It's beautiful, and that's kind of the depth that I was looking for with Ouroboros. I'm not sure if she was trying to like make sure that there wasn't an exact repeat shade to the dark green in Club Nebula maybe. But overall, I do really like this palette. I think it's really versatile, and I think you can get a ton of different looks out of it. I am surprised though by how light it is. Like a lot of these shades, like pretty much Wolf, Moss, Underworld, and what's this? Rebirth. Like I would frankly use most of these as transition shades. Like Moss kind of works as like a mid-tone shade, and maybe I could build Wolf up to be a mid-tone shade, but yeah, I'm just surprised at how light this palette is. Not necessarily a bad thing, but I might pull a deeper green into this palette to use with it, kind of thing. And I do really like this Complete shade. I use it a ton more than I thought that I would in place of a matte black. However, in doing so, just because of the nature of the shadow, it's not a fault of the shadow, it's just a metallic with like beautiful but pieces of like shimmer. So I did get a good amount of fallout. So I used it for the sake of this video. Moving forward, I'd probably just use a matte black instead. But it is really, really beautiful. Like when I first put it all over my lids today, it's really sparkly, and I think just doing pinks in the crease with this all over the lid and then not putting this multi-chrome over the top of it would look absolutely beautiful. So overall, for me, I think I prefer the OG, like the original 3 Legendary Day Versa palettes, to this one, just because this one leans a little bit lighter. But I do really, really love this, and I'm happy to have it, and I really like all of the looks that I ended up getting with it. And I also understand that not everyone is looking for super, super deep shadows all of the time. So if you are more like mid-tone to light shadow person, I think, and a lover of green, I think you will absolutely love this palette. I think the formula is really good apart from Color Story, and you can definitely go in like so many different directions. I could do 3 more looks with this palette for sure, and I really love all of the looks that I did. I think they all came out super different, and I'm really, really happy with it. So those are kind of my my thoughts on this. I know it is, I think, restocking on March 22nd, so if you wanted to pick this up on the restock, mark it in your calendars. Let me know if you bought this, what you think of it, or did you skip on it? Are you thinking about getting it on the restock? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I would love to see you in my next one. Bye!